Hey guys, it's the Waco Kid, Kurt Thompson here. Ironically, in the city of Waco in Texas. I run a channel designed for brand new arm wrestlers, as I am one of them, over the age of 40. And I'm way past the age of 40. Let's put it this way. I'm old enough to where Levan Saginashvili could actually be my son. Yeah, that's true. And I'm old enough that Devon Larratt could be my little brother. Yes, that's also true. So this video is about logic and fact and my observation. The same observation that 2 years ago predicted exactly what would happen to Devon Larratt. I gave 3 scenarios in 2022. Number 1, Larratt would be flash pinned all or most of the rounds. That came true by Levan Saginashvili. Number 2, he would be injured. That came true. The third option was one that couldn't happen with all 3. It was either 2 or the 1. The other option would be AWOL. Devon Larratt would have created some kind of plausible deniability about not being able to go to the match. That was my alternative. If he didn't show up, he got into a car accident, or maybe somebody in his family was sick, something like that. So if you go back 2 years ago, that video that I made several, aged very, very well, my friends, very well. And so now a lot of people are getting triggered by my recent video, which is really a prediction video because obviously it's not April 20th, 2024, right? But some people are going crazy about it. It says Levan Saginashvili gets the second win over Devon Larratt 5-1. I truly believe that's going to be the score. Unless Devon gets injured again. I don't think that's going to happen. So 2 years ago, I was really dogging Devon Larratt quite a bit. I mean, I really was. He deserved it. He really did. I mean, he was arm wrestling everybody. He was arm wrestling females, girls, ladies. I mean, people like me. You know, I've never had an arm wrestling match, and I've only been on the table once for a practice. But that doesn't mean I don't have the IQ up here to figure it out as far as the strength component. And let's just face it, when it comes to arm wrestling, be stronger. That's my motto. I've observed a lot in person and also on videos. My motto is be stronger. So that's that part of it. But I did dog Devon Larratt quite a bit. I mean, I went after him because he deserved it back in 2022. In my opinion, someone needs to get this to Devon Larratt. He had his axiom and strategy and pedagogy for arm wrestling and strength all ass backwards. So if you go back to 2022, you'll see that it seemed like Devon Larratt subscribed to the idea that endurance is the way to strength. Okay, in other words, the better way to say it would be that for Devon Larratt in 2022, strength would be a significant byproduct of endurance. Endurance meaning a continual arm wrestling festival. All day long, all night long, every day, anywhere he could. I mean, he was going to arm wrestling. But the thing is, he wasn't arm wrestling people like Levan, right? Or people like Gennady, or Jerry Cataract, or in any other heavyweight, Dave Chaffee. He wasn't arm wrestling people like that. He was arm wrestling people like me, or people a little bit better than me that have a little bit more experience. But he's not going to get anything out of that. So 2 years ago, if I had to pin down Devon Larratt's philosophy for arm wrestling, now there's probably many, but it boils down to this. I believe in his heart of hearts, he thought strength, arm wrestling strength, to be able to take out Levan Saginashvili would be a byproduct of all his endurance training, all the constant arm wrestling practices. And he couldn't be more wrong about that because I run another business where strength is a huge issue. And people, where I have an expertise in music, are almost always wrong about that, even the college professors. So here's how it really boils down to. Endurance is a byproduct of strength. Let me repeat that again. In fact, somebody needs to get this time marker and send it to Devon so he can hear this. Endurance is a byproduct of strength. And 2 years ago, Devon Larratt had it ass backwards. Sorry to say, he just did. So what does that mean? Let me give you a real crude example. If you took Levan Saginashvili and had him arm wrestle a 12-year-old, very good arm wrestler, Saginashvili could arm wrestle that kid hour after hour after hour, beat him constantly, and he would never get gassed out. Think about that. Why? Because endurance is a byproduct of strength. In other words, Levan would be so superiorly strong to a 12-year-old, he would just never gas out. Now, that's an extreme example, but that's what I'm talking about. Now, let's fast forward to 2020, or rewind back to 2022 with Levan and Devon. So, Levan didn't need all the endurance that Devon had because of the strength axiom I just told you about. Okay? Endurance is a byproduct of strength. So Levan's strength was so superior to Devon Larratt 2 years ago. In fact, I'm going to go ahead and put up a clip that I just put up in my other video. I want you to see, I slowed it down so everybody can see the angst, the consternation, I mean, the shakiness. In the video, it almost looks like Devon has Parkinson's. Looks like he's almost crying. And then if you look at Levan Saginashvili, he's just there, hardly even breathing, not breaking a sweat, not moving at all, and you can see what's happening to Devon. Now think about this. That was just 2 years ago. Do you think that Devon was able to significantly overcome the discrepancy in strength in just 2 years, also after suffering an injury? There's no way in hell, folks. Use your brain. What you're watching now through Concrete Elbow and Performing Enhancing Pancakes and even arm wrestling news, all this stuff is propaganda. It's propaganda and hype to get you excited and to pay the pay-per-view. That's what it really is about. So it's propaganda, folks. I'm going to put it here one more time. Just take a look. Devon looks just like a little toddler fighting Levan 2 years ago. He had nothing. Zero. Zilch. Who in their right freaking mind would think that 2 years later he would not only be able to up his game and strength to equal Levan, but to surpass it? There's no way possible, folks. And Devon, because I run a channel that's for over 40, he's over 40. You are not in your peak strength at 50, my friend. You're in your 30s and maybe early 40s. Maybe, but not really. In your late 20s and your 30s, that's where your peak is at. So the only way Devon really could have beat or had a chance of beating Levan would be if Levan and he were closer in age, and they were both arm wrestling back when Devon was in his mid-30s. 35, 36, 37, 38, something like that. And if Levan also happened to be that same age. And if Devon had been able to pack on some weight. I believe in that scenario, had they been closer in age and had Devon been able to add 50 pounds of strength, yes, I think that in that scenario, there is a super good chance with all of Devon's strength and arm wrestling acumen and experience and skills. Yes, I think probably he would have prevailed over Levan. But that's that's not the case right now, guys. So you need to quit being brainwashed and hoodwinked by the propaganda that you're seeing. This is a farce. And I'm being generous to Devon with that 5-1 score. There's a high likelihood that maybe he might not even get that one win. And if he does get the one win, I predict it might be either at the very first round or it would be the last round. So he comes in fresh and he's not injured. Maybe he can get it the first round, but remember, Levan is also fresh and strong too. So more than likely, that one win that Devon's going to get is going to be in round 6. And it might be just because Levan eases up, backs off, and lets Devon get that one win, just to kind of save face a little bit. So that's it. You can watch Concrete Elbow. Concrete Elbow. Yeah, I like that. I like the guy, what he's doing, but it's propaganda. If you watch his shows, most of it's propaganda in favor of Devon. And then performance-enhancing pancakes, that's 100% propaganda in favor of in favor of Devon Larratt. So and then arm wrestling news and some others. Arm wrestling news, the Indian guy, he's a great guy. He's very intelligent, although I don't think he's an arm wrestler. He's more of a color commentary kind of person. He seems like he gets it right most of the time, but it seems like he is a little bit in favor of Devon Larratt most of the time. So maybe not most of the time. Let's just say just kind of leans over towards Devon. It seems like in a lot of his critiques and color commentary that he does. So that's it, guys. I mean, now the other issue is injuries. I don't care about stem cells, stem schmell. I don't care about all the stuff that Larratt's doing for his elbow and his injury and his bicep and his pec and his shoulder and all that kind of stuff. When you get an injury, folks, it's not like you guys are thinking that if you get an injury, it grows back stronger and you're stronger in that area. That's not how it works, especially after 40. Now, Larratt is over 50, right? Or he's right at 50. No. When you get that injury, that is a weak link in the chain of your body. And Larratt has several significant injuries. Those haven't healed to be stronger, a strong point. Those are all weak links. And that's going to come back to haunt him in the match that's coming up in about a month. So that's significant. Age? No. Levan's at his peak, or about ready to approach his peak by being 34. What is he, 34 or 35, 36, mid-30s? But Larratt is past his peak. Now he's probably at his highest level as far as table IQ, skills, wisdom, experience, technique. Yeah, he's probably at his peak there. But remember, when it comes to arm wrestling, be stronger. And Larratt is past his peak for that hope of being stronger. That's the reason number 2. And let's see what else. And then also it goes back to my original premise at the beginning of this video that Larratt has been subscribing to the wrong philosophy when it comes to any kind of endeavor that requires strength and endurance. Everything physical that requires something, it could be also playing a musical instrument. It could be sprinting, racing, you name it, cross country, weightlifting, football, basketball. This holds true, it seems like, in almost every endeavor of life, that endurance is a byproduct of strength, not the other way around. So someone needs to pass that on to Devon. Endurance is a byproduct of strength, not the other way around. Not the other way around, Devon. And so, anyway, all that said, I can't dog Devon Larratt the way he did 2 years ago, because he has added significant strength in what I've been able to observe. I don't know the guy, never met the guy, never saw him in person. But based on my observations of the different videos, I see a tremendously much stronger individual than I saw 2 years ago. And I also see him focusing on what I actually told him to do 2 years ago, and people laughed about it. I told him he needed to focus on his strength. Less arm wrestling and more strength training. Does Devon Larratt need another arm wrestling match for practice? No. He shouldn't be doing any of that. He needs to spend time strength training. I believe that's what he's been doing. But he wasn't doing that in 2022. So he probably watched my video and then started working on his strength. That's it, ladies and gentlemen. So you can wish in one hand and shit in the other, but what's going to happen on April 20th, 2024 is going to be another complete takedown of Devon Larratt by the #1 arm wrestler in the world, Levan Saginashvili. That's just the way the deck is stacked. It's been stacked in favor of Levan Saginashvili. And this video is about logic. There's really no opinion here. If you felt that I made an opinion without fact, let me know. But my opinion about, the fact about Larratt having these injuries, that's not my opinion. That's true. The idea that he's older, much older, he's almost a generation older. You know, a generation is about 15 to 18 years, right? He's about a generation older than Levan. And then the strength and the body mass, I mean, this is not an opinion. These are all observable facts. So that's the way it's going to go down. So if you're betting on Devon for the win, if you actually bet money, you better get that bet off the table, folks. I'm the Waco Kid. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it.